Rising from the wooded hills of Istanbul's Asian side, hidden within the pine forests of Sultanbeyli, lies a fortress lost to time, Aydos Castle. Once a key defensive outpost of the Byzantine Empire, today it stands as a silent witness to centuries of war, legend, and survival. Approaching the wall, we pass through a single stone window. Once a lookout, now a portal into the past. As we soar above the treetops, the shape of the fortress begins to emerge. Stone walls, rough-weathered yet proud, still stretch across the hillside. Built in the 11th or 12th century, Aydos Castle was designed to guard the eastern approaches to Constantinople from the threat of Turkish expansion. But now the only sentinels are the trees and the wind. The silence beyond it feels sacred, as if the stones themselves are holding their breath. Now inside the perimeter, the fortress opens up. The drone glides across ancient towers and follows the outlines of walls that once echoed with commands in Greek, and later, in Turkish. Cisterns carved into the rock still remain, the very reservoirs that sustained soldiers through long sieges. Fragments of living quarters and the faint outlines of what was likely a Byzantine chapel remind us that this was not only a place of war, but of life and faith. As we rise, the full shape of the stronghold comes into view. Aydos Castle was built on this hill not by chance. From here, the defenders could see the entire region. And at the far northern edge, we reach the castle's final outpost. The view opens toward the sprawling modern district of Sultanbeyli, a dramatic contrast to the medieval stone beneath our wings. There, waving proudly in the wind, the Turkish flag, a symbol of continuity, of stories passed from one empire to the next. Aydos Castle is more than rock and mortar. It is the setting of one of the most romantic tales in Ottoman lore. According to legend, during the early 14th century, an Ottoman warrior named Aydos Bey dreamt of a woman, a Byzantine noblewoman imprisoned in a fortress. When he later saw the same fortress in real life, he took it as a divine sign. The Ottomans laid siege, and thanks to help from within, possibly the woman herself, the gates were opened. They say the two were later married. Was it fate, was it love, or just a clever tale? Whatever the truth, the story lives on. Now the drone enters follow mode. As I walk along the outer boundary of the ancient fortress, the path beneath me shifts between crumbling rock and patches of wild grass. The castle walls feel alive, like old bones resting beneath the forest. Every step I take mirrors the footsteps of soldiers who once paced these same edges, eyes on the horizon, watching for invaders that never came, or did. I pause to touch the stone, cold, rough, worn. Imagine the hands that once built this wall, layer by layer, rock by rock, without machines, without haste, only with the urgency of survival. This wasn't just architecture, it was defiance carved into the earth. As the drone circles around me, the light changes. A warm breeze carries the scent of pine and dust. There are no signs, no barriers, no crowds, only the ruins and the silence between them. To walk here is to walk through centuries, not as a tourist, but as a witness. And with each turn of the trail, the walls seem to whisper more, memories not lost, just buried beneath the sound of modern life. In a city as alive as Istanbul, it's rare to find a place so quiet yet so full of voice. Finally, we exit as we entered, through the same narrow stone window. Once a portal of defense, now a gateway to reflection. As the drone lifts above the outer walls one last time, the fortress reveals itself once more, proud, battered, unbroken. A monument to a time when walls meant everything. Aydos Castle may not appear in most guidebooks, but here, carved into a hillside and into history, it waits for those who are curious enough to look. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories from the sky, from the past, and from places time almost forgot.